What's up, everyone? Sean CountBlagorath here with an album review, this time of the 2012 Candlelight Records release of the Threnody of Triumph by Winterfylleth. If you're not familiar with Winterfylleth, they are a atmospheric black metal band hailing from the UK, and they are personally one of my favorite bands. Excuse me. In fact, one of my favorite black metal albums, period, is their last album, The Racking Sphere. I haven't been able to find their debut album, which I will be picking up as soon as I can, along with this. That album is one of my favorite black metal records, period, just because of the pure, cold, yet really enveloping atmosphere that the album gives. Personally, it's one of my favorite things about Winterfylleth is they are atmospheric without relying on cliches. They are atmospheric without relying strictly on keyboards. They're atmospheric without having to just really speak about the things that the music makes you feel, if that makes sense. Their songs aren't about winter or the fall. There's some stuff that's kind of about that, but it's more or less English history. And that's really cool, and that's why I really like them, is they kind of break the mold of traditional black metal. Them and Woden's Throne are my two personal favorites in atmospheric black metal, along with bands such as Wolves in the Throne Room, Agalock, of course, and October Falls. So, what I'm getting at is I really, really enjoy this style, and when this album was announced, my excitement for it just shot up through the roof, and this album is amazing. I'm trying to figure out where I should just kind of start off with this. I guess I'll start off like how I usually do with the guitars. Very fast-paced, very high in the guitar range. They sound very high-pitched. Not very screechy, very, very good production and mixing, which is another thing I like about them, is they don't rely on really piss-poor production to give you a dark atmosphere. They do it through the music, which is very cool. The riffs are just extremely, extremely good. If you've listened to Woden's Throne, you kind of understand what Winterfylleth does. If you've listened to Wolves in the Throne Room, you're going to kind of understand what Winterfylleth does. So they kind of take that style of riffing, which is kind of like very repetitive, not even kind of, it's very repetitive, but it's very good. The riffs are just drenched in this dark, malevolent atmosphere, yet you can listen to it in the day and it doesn't feel out of place. They feel kind of folky at times, which is very good. It gives you this almost ancient sort of sound that is very hard to find in just straight black metal, and that's something that I'm really loving about this. The beautiful thing about the guitars is there's so much different guitar work being done at the same time. A good example would be a rather lower sounding riff being played while an extremely high pitched one is going on in the background, just kind of over top, accenting the main riff. And that's very cool, and you'll find that in a few songs. The bass, it pretty much goes with the guitar. It makes the mix and everything sound just a little bit deeper, a little bit more fuller, and much more of a robust sound. It's very clean. There's nothing gritty about it. It's just a very good, clean bass tone that works extremely well for this brand of atmospheric black metal. Drum-wise, extremely varied. The last album wasn't nearly as varied as this, in my opinion. It was just more or less blast beats and 4/4 beats. This time around, they still keep that formula, but there's more slower drum beats over really fast guitar riffs. There's a very good balance. It feels much more balanced this time around, and there's a lot of duality between the drums and the guitar, where on the last album there was to an extent, but not to the degree that it is on this album. all the drums sound absolutely great. I mean, they're mic'd well, they have a lot of punch and kick to them. The snare has the perfect pop. Everything sounds good. Everything sounds like where it should be in the mix. And that's something that's really hard to do with drums, especially in this style of black metal. But they managed to pull it off great. To me, it sounds like there's keyboards, but I don't think they use them. Just very, very minor, very minuscule, very subtle usage of them. Just kind of in the background to give it more of a boost into the mix, which sounds very good. Vocally, I just love the vocals to this album. High pitch, very, very raspy, but nothing that is typical black metal. Well, I can't really say that. They're not shrieky, but they're not too raspy. They're a very good middle-of-the-road black metal vocal with some kind of lower death metal almost style vocals thrown in just for good measure. Just some very, very good stuff. And lyrically, just absolutely great, as you expect from Winterfylleth. I would recommend this definitely to fans of the atmospheric style black metal that's been coming out of England lately with Woden's Throne. I would recommend this if you like Drook, Wolves in the Throne Room, definitely, Weakling, October Falls, etc., etc. I'm loving the hell out of this, and it's hard for me to say if this album's better than Woden's Throne Cursed, because I love Cursed. So, for a score, I can't... It's hard to say because it's so damn good. I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. I hate giving so many high scores in my reviews constantly, but damn it, they deserve these high scores, and this is another one that does. So, 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and as always, keep it metal.